What's up, fellas? We're gonna hit day 3 with cover 6 and cover 9. We're gonna get this going early morning video. Let me make this live and we can rock out. Let's see, get this going. Give me 1 second to get it out into the public. A lot of people were saying that cover 6 and cover 9 are pretty good this year, so we're gonna try our best to take a look at it. I'm a little always concerned about playing cover 2, so we'll see how that goes. All right. Live streaming it up. Sorry, I'm an hour late. I was actually putting together some videos for my future, some issue videos. I'm gonna keep private for now, and I'll give them out later on. Seems that seems that there's the potential that I may not be able to do the membership in time. It might take time for it to get approved. So if that's the case, I'm gonna probably have to use Patreon to start to do it for this season, and then I can just make these videos private, or make them, sorry, unlisted. Give you the links to them, and you can get all the teach videos this year. But what's up, man? We're gonna do cover 6 and cover 9. I'll start with cover 6 right now. We're gonna see how it plays out. I know there's a couple rules that I need to freshen up on when it comes to the cover 2 side of cover 6. All right. So from a team standpoint, we're gonna look at the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins are gonna give us a good cover 6 base, since that's Fangio's defense. Hopefully he has it set up the way he needs to. And I have injuries off. I made a new file. All right, a new franchise file. So we should have. Where is it? Don't tell me he's not in there. Am I bugging out? All right, Jalen Ramsey. All right, so Ramsey is in the game. All right, let me just reorder the depth chart. Let me just order this thing. All right, so we have Ramsey. We have Xavier Howard. Beautiful. Um, all right, so we have some good players here. We should be. Obviously, we got Ramsey. Howard's going to be fine. A little lacking here when it comes to the nickel spot, but we should be able to get through that. Our safeties, Javian Holland, looks like he has pretty good awareness, pretty good play recognition. And then we have Deshaun Elliott. He's pretty good, not bad, a little slow. All right, so we're gonna work cover 6. We got safeties that are okay. We have corners that are pretty good. And then let me just take a look at the linebacker depth chart and then the sub depth chart, and we should be good to go. All right, Jerome Baker, good speed, good awareness, good play recognition. That's what I'm looking for right now. David Long, pretty good too. So that's good. Our sub corners, we're gonna have little Needham. Was he the best corner to come in? Let me make sure it's the best one that I can use, the nickel spot. That's fine. We'll keep it that way. We want to keep the good guys on the outside, so we should be good to go. All right. So let's just actually hold up. Who's the dime? The safety right now. He's fine. He's good enough at the dime. We'll put a dime safety out there. That's fine. So we're gonna work cover 6. We're in the franchise file. I just started over a new franchise file. I'm doing it online finally. So yeah, I think the Dolphins will be good for match D, man. I think that's gonna be. They should be good. Fangio's out there. I know he's probably, he has a little time. He wants to work his system, but he should be fine. And we're going against the Chargers right now, so that should be pretty good. That should be pretty good. Let me make sure the sound is on. I'll do it once I get into the game. All right, so we're just using stock playbooks. We're going to work cover 6 for this game, and then maybe we'll work cover 9 for the next one, or maybe we'll do a little bit of both during the game. You know what? Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's look at cover 6 versus everything. I don't want to skip over formations, but I think I like cover 6 definitely. I like them both versus 3-by-1. I like 2-by-2. I like cover 6 a little bit better, but I guess if you have a really good, it depends on where the good receivers are. You know what I'm saying? I pretty much would love to play the cover 2 side to where the good receiver is, and that's a real life thing that people do. They will call cover 6/9 and say wherever the good receiver is aligned, that's where we're going to play the cover 2 too. All right. So if he's aligned, let's say it's 2-by-2 and he's aligned to the tight end side, right? We're going to play cover 6. If it's 2-by-2 and he's aligned like in the slot, we're going to play cover 9. So we've done that before, and that's a good way to try to maybe, slow down one of the better players that you want to slow down. If it's a good tight end, you want to, try to put the cover 2 to his side. Same thing. You can kind of dictate your rules depending on how you want to do it. All right. The bad thing is that they come out a lot of base defense. I think cover 6 is in most base defenses, but then it's not going to be in cover 9 is not going to be there in base defense. When I say base defense, I'm talking about like 3-4 over under, 4-3 over under, all that stuff. All right, let me give you a little sound here. I think the volume was down because I was working on a video earlier. Let's just put this up to about 50. I try to turn down the volume so my voice is over it. I'm not competing with the announcers and stuff. All right. So cover 6, I'm excited about this. People said it was looking good this year. So I think it has to be that the cover 2 side is looking good, because the quarter side is going to be playing just like we've been playing the past couple days here. All right, let's make sure match is on. So they are what? They're a hybrid team. They're really a 3-4 team. So slot formation. Again, not a big fan of cover 6 to slot, but we'll do it. We're going to have a linebacker walked out over here. I don't like that. Doesn't look clean. This is why you double call stuff in real life. It's the reason why I like to play 3 match to slot right there. You call 63. If it's a pro formation, you play cover 6. If it's a slot formation, you play cover 3. Anyway, let's just take a look at. This ball came out quick. It's kind of hard to evaluate what happened here. But we are looking at, this is really not a good way to start the game. We got cover 2 over here. We got a corner. I got to find out what kind of corner it is, because I do know in cover 6 the corners can have different assignments. All right. Of course, they're going to give me a slot. I'll go cover 6 again. So the corners is a cloud flat over there. This guy right here, I messed up there. I'll say this, depending on the front that you're in, it makes a difference. So let me not get into a bad front. Being in an under front is not good versus that formation. That's another thing. If you're a 3-4 team, sometimes certain fronts are better versus certain formations. You can have an auto check in real life to that too. But let's just keep it in the nickel world. I'll worry about base later on, guys. I'll come back to that, because running a regular 4-3 is probably better. To be honest with you, 4-3 over. At least you're going to have walked out linebackers. It's a little bit better. It's like playing nickel. But as soon as you get into the over and under world, it's a little bit harder to play split safety defense versus slot formation. So that's just a little tidbit. All right, here we go. We got nickel. We got a 2-by-2 set. Right side looks normal. Left side has kind of a compression look. I'm going to let it play out. So I'll say this now. The cover 2 side, as we look at it, I need to find out the rules for the vertical hook player. I need to find out how the corner's playing. I forgot to look to see if he was a cloud flat player. But obviously with this tight compressed set right here, all right, it's kind of almost like a bunch-like formation. But he's not going to be in a press position. He's not going to be able to get hands on this guy if you just leave him out there, which is not the worst thing in the world sometimes. But we're going to have to look at, do we want to press the corner anytime we have a compressed look? All right, do we want to get, physical? I don't know if he's going to bump him or not, but alignment-wise, it's a little bit, there's a little space in there for people to kind of like throw an easy little quick game route in there. All right. But the one thing I do like in general, let me just speak on how I like cover 6, and I made videos about this last year. I do like that teams that run a lot of crossing routes, like shallow crossing routes, especially if they're coming from the passing strength and going to the weak side, for the most part, you can trust, and that's what this is right here. This is a mesh. The ball came out pretty quick, or it's just quick game. I think this is mesh. Yeah, this is mesh. Usually if we're playing with the middle linebacker here, the three receiver hook player, we would know that when Allen comes in and runs his shallow cross from the right of screen heading left, you have to be a wall player and you have to basically match him across the field if you're playing regular quarters, right? But in this case, you know that this is the zone side of the defense, the cover two. You can now pass that off, knowing that he's going to run across the field. You're going to have a vertical hook player here. You're going to have also a flat player over here. So it kind of allows you to let crossers go, and now you can help out on maybe the opposite crosser, right? Or you can try to help out on the sit-down route in the middle of the field. So this is where cover six to me is a nice change-up, even on first and second down if you know a team wants to run crossing routes. That's how I look at cover six. All right, tray open. Got to take a quick look. So we do have a soft squat corner out there, all right, which we'll talk about a little bit more. Oops, let me get off of that. We'll talk about that a little bit more as we go along. Basically, the soft squat corner is not going to get hands. He's not going to jam number one, all right? He's going to read 2-1. If there's no 2 to the flat, or if 2 goes vertical, he's going to, again, this is if it was a 2-by-2 set. But if 2 doesn't go to the flat or 2 goes vertical, what he will do is sink back with number 1. It will almost look like he's playing 2-man on the outside hip. And he'll play underneath him. And he will have eyes on the QB, eyes in the backfield. Until somebody comes down to the flat, then he will come off. So in essence, you can actually have him almost look like he's playing 2-man if you just get a single route on the backside that's a vertical route. That's the soft squat. I personally don't like to play with the soft squat. I like to play with a cloud flat. And I'll show you examples of this later on once we get some more examples. I like playing more with the cloud flat now because I get that true cloud corner, so it allows me to let crossers go. So that's just my theory. But if you guys have any other theories on how you like to play things, let me know. All right, so again, this is the soft squat corner, right? So he actually does open up and actually shuffle to the side. That's his technique, all right? He's not like a sit there at 5 yards, jam, sit on a wall, jam the receiver, and then sink back. He actually opens up. It looks almost like he's playing like a read cover 2, right? A cover 2 read. 1 goes vertical, right? He's looking at that. He's only going to come off when 2 comes to the flat, all right? In this case, 2 is who? 3-by-1 formation. It's the backfield guy. It's the running back. So with this route, if the running back was to work inside, right, or just like, run a little option route or just sit down, the corner would actually just stay with 1, all right? It's kind of funny that he's so far on top of number 1. He would actually stay with 1. Even on this dig route, he would actually trail the dig route. But as soon as somebody comes off into the flat, then he comes down late, all right? So we'll talk about it more when we get to 2-by-2, but that's the soft squat corner. Personally, I like to have a cloud corner. And then just to talk about that, the vertical hook player. So his responsibility changes. 2-by-2, it's a lot harder because there's a tight end there, and I got to really look at that some more because the rules change. I was going to talk about this in my other videos from last year. I don't want to go into too much detail. But the rules change depending on if it's a squat corner or if it's a cloud corner or if it's a hard flat corner. Sometimes the rules change for the vertical hook player and if he's going to match 2 or not. So but we won't talk about that right now. I'm actually want to spend some time and do that on my own. But just in general, I'm gonna sit here and play more cloud flat corner, and that should be pretty simple because now we know it's zone, and then we got pretty much pure zone to the weak side. All right, depending on the formation. Now over here, we have our bunch, so we're just playing the box rules that we have this year. All right, which we are still working through. But when 1 goes under 2, like he does here, so watch number 13, he goes inside. Most of the time, that's a shallow route, right? He's usually going to run like a little spot route or a little shallow crossing route. The corner, he reads that, and he's looking to get on top of the deepest route out of the bunch, all right? And right now, that's number 5. The reason why he's running like this to get over the top is that if number 5 was to actually run a post or a vertical route or a straight seam, he needs to stay on top of it. So he kind of overruns this, which opens up the potential of a corner route. So that's a little bit of one of the weaknesses right now. But I want to take a look at backing up the corner. I think that might help. All right, but everything else here in box is like box. There's nothing else to really talk about. Um, the safety back here in cover two. Usually he's playing top of the numbers, right? Balls in the boundary. He's just going to backpedal top of the numbers. If he gets only one vertical threat, he will get more width. He'll get like out here towards the bottom of the numbers, and almost like maybe 2 yards outside the numbers. If we had a 2-by-2 formation, right, and the tight end was to work up the field and go vertical on a seam route, he's pretty much going to sit there and play top of the numbers. He's gonna play more inside, a little heavier on the inside seam route. So we'll talk about that a little bit if we get that example right later on. But cover six, overall is a good change up to me. Now the one bad thing about cover six is the disguise. A lot of times it shows the corner is going to be 5 yards off the ball, and then the opposite corner, that's to the cover two side, and then the opposite corner is going to be where he's going to be 10 yards off the ball. So you can kind of know it's cover six. My natural disguise that I like to do with cover six is to play three cloud. So three cloud looks the same a lot of times. Sometimes the corner's pressed. But if people are going to say, hey, I know it's cover six, I'm going to attack the cover two side with a concept. I'm going to run two verticals out there. I'm going to run I'm going to run a wheel with somebody. I'm going to run my cover two beaters. If you mix in three cloud enough, then running those beaters won't work most likely against cover three. All right, the safety's coming over playing outside third, and it's a lot tougher to throw the ball into that coverage. So. And then obviously you could try to find some cover sixes that have natural disguise. There's a couple cover six show twos, things like that. You just have to find the fronts that they're in, okay? Now let me just take a look at this. I'm going to do something a little bit different here today. I'm going to favorite cover six at a nickel. And then I'm going to do the same thing out of base. So I could just pick my favorites, all right? Hold on. Let me get this guy in a cloud flat. I think I got him in a cloud flat right there real quick. I want to see how this plays out. So cloud flat corner, you see how I just quickly went over there and just manually changed him to cloud flat? I'm going to do that for most of this video because that's the way that I want to play my cover six. So now Ramsey gets hands on number one, right? So he sits at 5 yards, gets hands on number one, and then he works back, okay? He's going to work back just in case this was a C route or an out-breaking route. He usually works back to about 10 yards. Sometimes he gets back to 15 yards. Butt to the sideline will start sinking back, all right? The ball was thrown here. If the quarterback still had the ball, he'll start working back to get underneath any type of out-breaking route right here, and then he'll react up once the ball is thrown to the flat, if the ball is thrown to the flat. So against cover two, it's kind of like some people would say, oh, well, how come the corner is not jumping it? He's actually getting depth. And they did this last year pretty well. Good corners did this pretty well. I know somebody last night said that the corners actually get back this year. I think they did it well last year too. But you just had to put him in a cloud flat, all right? So audibling him to a cloud flat should get hands on him and works well. I do believe, what else is there? Some cover six. Let me try to find a different cover six. Some cover six already have that. Let's go into 2-3. I know this is not the best formation here, but let me do this a different way. Hold on one second. I'm doing this a Homer way. Let me just go to actual concept and pick cover six. And then we can look at all the different cover sixes, all right? So we have a dime. Here we go. Cover 9, show 2. That's not the same thing. Let's go dime 2-3, show cover 2, show 2. This is a little bit funky here with this formation, all right? They got them in a man line right now. That's interesting. All right, this is not what we want. Didn't know they had this in the game. So that formation forced my DBs to be in a man line. So we'll talk about that another day. Some formations can kind of mess with your defense, and maybe that's because I'm in the dime 2-3-6, but we'll talk about that another time. I don't base a line, so that would be something I have to look into. All right, let's try it again. Let's go with the dime 2-3. All right, here we go. Show 2. All right, so the corner over there is a soft squat corner. I'm going to put him in a cloud flat. We got a run play anyway, but I'm going to work with that when we come to some of these pass plays, putting him in a cloud flat. I think that would be a lot better. Now, if I know a team's going to run two verticals against me on the backside, like 2x2, and they want to run four verticals, and they want the two backside guys to go deep, soft squat could be, the way to play it. But for right now, I'm using it for a different reason. All right, I'm in an over and under front. Right now, I'm a little bit off with this alignment. Let me just get these guys. Of course, they're going to do this to me. They motion the freaking receiver over. That's all screwed up, man. Don't look at that play. That play was just crazy. The computer is really cheesy, man. They would motion guys and do all types of crazy stuff to get you out of whack. All right, bunch quads close. So this is going to most likely be a 4x1 formation. I don't think cover 6 would be great to it, but let me just try it. Because again, most likely this would turn off the cover, the matching principles because it's 4x1. We got to look at this formation later on. So no, they actually did match on this. So there's two formations that I've seen so far that they match stays on versus a 4x1 formation. I think this is the same one. This is the same one I saw the other day. This bunch quad formation. So it's bunch, right? They got a running back here at the number 4 spot. The match stays on for certain people. And I know like the quarter flat defender. So he's still playing like a box. He's working first to the flat. Right? Here, match that guy. It looks like right now, I'm not sure who, I didn't look at the play art, who is who. But one of these guys have to be a wall player. If the corner is reading, again, number 1, where would number 1 be? Doesn't matter here who's number 1. If the corner, I think my theory is that in box, the corner is going to see if number 1 works under 2. So if you're looking at 81, right, he works inside right now, underneath. Then he's going to think, what? I got to jump. I got to go match the deepest player remaining in the box, right? The guy who's running the furthest down the field. That's kind of how I'm wording it right now, in a bastardized way. It's not. This is not anything that I know. This is my theory. So who's the guy that's going deepest right now? It's number 7. If he's looking at number 13 and saying that that's the guy who I'm reading, if he takes that fast release to the flat right now, it's the same thing. He's not going to jump that. He's going to say, now I have to go work towards the deepest guy, who I think is number 7. So I think that's where he's going, okay? But anyway, we got to take a look at this. We got to come up with some rules. They actually did walk this extra linebacker out here. We got to come up with some rules because in this chipper look, this is what I think that's pretty much what this guy's responsibility is. He's never going to go deep. So it's almost like, who cares? You don't have to worry about 30 going deep. And if you wanted to maybe make it easy, just man up somebody on the running back, right? And then play 4/3 with the rest of them. So anyway, what comment we got? Dolphins have Fangio, right? Yeah, that's the reason why I chose the Dolphins this morning. I figured I'll give the Fangio defense some love. I know he loves the quarters match. I know he loves cover 6 as one of his base calls. I know he likes to do all types of funky stuff with his defense. Yeah, 4 coming across, right? Well, 4 coming across would be matched by who? Because the one thing is, you don't have any. The one thing about this, so I didn't talk about rules, right? Guys who know this, cover 6 to the quarter side plays like palms, okay? So all the palms rules that you have in cover 6 comes out to the quarter side versus 3x1. All right, I didn't say that first. Okay, well, actually, no. Even versus is that true? Am I messed up there? 3x1 definitely plays like palms. I'm bugging out right now. No, 2x2 doesn't play like palms. It plays like quarters. So to 3x1 sets, right? 3x2 sets, it'll play like palms. Which why? It's an easy answer, right? I know this is a four receiver set. It's a little bit different, but you don't have any backside safety help, right? So in palms, the backside safety is free. Obviously in cover 6, the backside safety is playing cover 2. He's playing deep half, right? So that's how I kind of like always try to teach my guys, like, hey, why can't we play quarters, regular quarters to this side versus a 3 receiver side, right? Well, you can't because you don't have a poach player to come over from the backside versus 3x1, right? So you just kind of teach it like that. You have the same rules you would in palms versus 3x1. So I really don't want to get into the 4x1 stuff. That's like that needs to be studied this year and it needs to be looked at. That's oof. That's going to be tough. Anyway, let's go nickel. They have a cover 9 show too. I don't want to do cover 9, but let's just take a look at it real quick. It's another soft squat corner over there, so that's my guy. I got to play him, match him sooner. Didn't want to get into cover 9. I was going to do that a little bit later. K Ghost. I'm gonna play cover 6, but I'm gonna play it more. I'm gonna go nickel here. I'm gonna play it more with. I'm gonna play it not with the squat corner. I'm gonna play with a cloud corner. So I'm gonna just hot route that guy to a cloud. Just because I like the fact that he's a true zone defender. He's not a matching zone defender, and that allows me to be a little bit better against. Feel better if crossing routes are coming from shallow crossing routes are coming from passing strength to away from passing strength. If that makes any sense. So I know most of the time some of these plays actually do give it. They do make them a regular cloud corner. I'm in nickel here again. That's my fault. I shouldn't be in nickel to this set, guys. Don't mind this. I shouldn't be in nickel. That's why I just got gashed right there. But I think it's better that way. And that's the way, for me, that's the way I want to like do it. Some people might do it different. You might like it different. Yeah, exactly. The zone side can better collect the crosses. When you have a soft squat corner, there's a chance that he might match one vertical, right? All right, here we go. Let's go with nickel here again. Cover 6. Don't like it, obviously, in the red zone like this. This is way too tight. This is actually the goal line. The only good thing is that I have a quarter safety here that I can kind of like cheat with a little bit. But that's just bad defense right there. I would never call that defense to that right there, guys. Sorry about that. But we're just trying to get through a cover 6 video. Hopefully the computer... The funny thing is that the computer will probably not throw mesh. They probably won't throw shallow cross because of the defense that I'm in. I expect them to try to maybe attack me with like 4 verticals. Or attack the quarter side, you know? Drink some water real quick. But again, I'm using rules. I'm talking them through. I'm not going. This is not like a teach tape. This is more just like a talking football tape, guys. This is not. Usually, I'm a little bit more into progressions and going through what happens next. Kind of like what we did yesterday with the practice mode last night. Let me just do it this way. So I got the corner over there in the cloud flat. Quarter safety got to get down a little bit sooner. Linebackers got to play better. Yeah, I'm not working run fits too much. The good thing about this defense, you could use a little bit of disguise, stuff like that. It's pretty good versus that. Let's go. I'm going to go dime 2-3, get the extra DB in the box. Of course, the computer's going to do this. So they motion 2x2. Good. We got to talk about that vert hook. I haven't really looked at the vert hook yet. I want to see how it plays this year. I know it has matching principle rules. No matter what the corner's in, it has matching principle rules. And I did a video on it last year at the very end of the cycle. And it's one of those things that I feel like it's not intuitive to me because I never really taught that defense. And even defenses I played in the NFL, coaching NFL, didn't really play a lot of cover. Didn't play a lot of cover 6. And when we did play cover 6, we use clamp, which I know Fangio talks about. He might have a different word for it. So we would go clamp to the cover 2 side a lot, which would just turn that cover 2 side into 2-man. Which you can do in Madden too, right? So let me show you an example of that, right? So cover 2, right? Over here, I would just quickly, if I could do it quick enough, right? I would just go like this, and I would just man up the corner. I would man up the backside linebacker. I could use her, obviously the backside linebacker. If I don't want to man him up, I just play man myself. And we just play 2-man on the backside, right? The one thing you gotta be worried about is that the 3 receiver hook player make sure he walls all defenders, all right? So let me try it again here. Let me go cover 6. Yeah, my stick, they keep knocking this guy way over there, right? So I got 2-man basically. Oh, they got this guy playing. Oh, this is messed up. So there's certain formations, as you guys know in the Madden world, there's certain formations that will pull players all over the place, and that's always early in the cycle. You got to find out what defenses give you a chance to have your guys aligned correctly, and what formations on offense would give you some trouble versus that. So, just something to think about. All right, I know this is two backs in the backfield. I'm in nickel, not the best defense, but I just wanted to align a little bit better. I really don't like playing cover six that much to out of base personnel, especially since they're a 3-4 team. I don't like playing cover six to a slot formation because of the linebacker, the inside backer walks out, or you have to take an edge player and walk them out and play quarter flat. I really don't like that too much. So you're excited this year. Well, what's getting you guys excited? You guys have played the game more than I have when it comes to like offense. And talk to me a little bit about what you've seen in the game. Like, how's the passing game? How's it going when it comes to high point passing? Is that still cheesy as hell? People high point passing all day. Yeah, I heard it got nerfed. Have people already figured out a way to bring it back? I see a lot of drops by receivers when they try to high point, so I feel like that's a good thing from a defensive point of view. It's nerfed hard. Good. I'm sorry, man. Look, I'm a sim guy. That high point passing was just cheesy as hell. I'm sorry. It was cheesy as hell. It needed to be nerfed. It needed to be nerfed. Rampant. Wow. So the ball's getting knocked out all the time. I hope it's not overdone, you know? I mean, Jesus Christ. More realistic on defense and very impressed. No high point cheese on streaks. Good. Good, good, good. How the corners doing? Because I haven't really played against a user yet. Do streaks work at all? Like, do corners get roasted? And I'm assuming really when you play zone, when you play match, how are the corners holding up against streaks? You know, if you play regular cover three, spot drop cover three, are the corners holding up? Because that can break a game in my opinion. That could really break a game. All right, let me quickly get this into the zone. All right, all right. Oh, good, we got a good pass play here. We got a little shock option play. Wow, streaks are not a problem. I can't believe that. I've never played a Madden game. How long has it been that streaks haven't been a problem? I think streaks have been a problem, I feel like, forever. All right, so we get the shock option, right? We get one running a hitch, two running a fade, three running a stick. So this was always a problem when you come to playing Palms rules, right? So I forget I got to back up my nickel. I've been lazy morning. Got to back up my nickel, right? Got to give them a chance to at least stay with them for the first initial steps. I would love to be able to back up this safety too, because I think that would help out. But I don't want to back up the entire defense, and I can't. In my leagues, I can't back up safeties without using them. So I would have to back up the entire defense. So we know that's a problem. We know that's a play that we got to work on. Over here, the backside of this would be an option route by the halfback and a comeback, I think, by number one. That's how the route's drawn up. I guess that's not an option route, a comeback. I guess he's just running a vertical route. Here's the option route against cover two. He kind of just works out into the flat. This is supposed to be a cloud corner. Got a little bit of hands on him. Sinks back. Good job there, right? And again, the cloud corner, from what I understand, doesn't react up until the ball is thrown, or the ball is about to be thrown. Unlike a squat corner or obviously a hard flat corner, as soon as somebody comes towards the flat, they will come up. But in a cloud corner will actually come up once the ball is thrown. Which in today's game, as if we get a lot of knockout catches, catch knockouts, whatever it's called, that's pretty good. So anyway, that's my fault on the quarter side. I screwed that up. All right, 2x2. Yeah, a lot of people think so. I like it versus 2x2. Like, here we go, 2x2, right? Cover six. I like it versus 2x2. If you heard me in the beginning of the stream, we used to use with the Broncos we played cover six, but what we did was we called it like cover six. So it was called cover 56 because cover five meant that we were the five in front of a number meant we're a nickel. So we would call it 56, 56 to, in this case, Allen. 56 Allen, right? So what we would do is we would play cover six or cover nine, depending on where Allen is. So right now, Allen's on the left side of the screen. So we would call cover six, right? Right now, it just switched. So we would switch it to cover nine. It went to two by two. So we would always put the cover two side to where Allen was. So it would be cover six or cover nine depending on where he is. And that allowed us to be able to get that cover two flavor, the cover two essence where he has to work through a whole bunch of trash to get open, and made his life a little bit harder. So I like cover six in general versus any formation if you want to use it in that fashion. Like where's Allen? Allen is in the slot right now. So if I had that coverage on, I would have been playing cover nine to two by two with Allen in the slot. But yeah, I think cover nine is a, you know what? Yeah, people who are yeah, that's exactly it. You're right. If people are trying to attack your trip side, right? Because think about it, palms is kind of an aggressive fu coverage. Like it kind of turns into cover zero if you just run verticals, right? You're putting some stress in palms, right? So right now we got this is the same formation again. Thank God the computer audibled out of it. I'm gonna take a look at what's going on here a little bit with this crap, but if you're in palms versus 3x1 all day, you're putting a lot of stress in your corner. Play some cover nine, give your corners a down off, give your nickel a little bit of a break. They might try to be throwing flood routes into your palms coverage, and then all of a sudden you call cover nine. Boop! A lot of times you get interceptions. I like it versus the what do you call it formation? The 3x 0 I call it. The nub formations, trips nub. It's a good change up when people are thinking that they're going to get the same coverage all day, and you throw a little cover nine in there, and next thing you know, somebody's trying to force a ball down the sideline, and it's an interception. You know what I mean? They're trying to throw an out route to number three, on a flood combination, interception. They're trying to throw Indy 7 route, right? It's going to be hard to throw an Indy 7 route versus cover nine. Levels, what I'm talking about. Yesterday, remember every time we played palms, the computer just audible to like one ran an end, two ran an end, and three ran a corner. And the corner was getting matched up on the safety, and when they were just killing them, well, you play a little cover nine to that. It makes life a little bit different. So it's definitely a nice. I consider it a change-up defense. I don't consider it a mainstay defense in the way that I play, because I always want to be a little bit more aggressive in my defense. I want to be a little bit more heavy quarters, heavy cover three, heavy cover one. I want to force the issue. I want to know where the ball is going. You know what I mean? Used to be a player Madden 20 cover four. Oh man, don't talk about lock cover four lock palms. My boy, man, 55. That's his baby. Yeah, that was really nice. I like that defense. I think they actually had it like in Madden up to Madden 22. Or was there another version? I'm thinking about Meg. There was something called Meg 4, I think, something like that. That was a double A gap look. That's a different defense, but they did play palms rules behind it. Yeah, there was another play, you're right, called lock four palms, and I know what you're talking about. It took that out the game. Guess it was too much. If they just had somebody explain this stuff to people, right? Even if you remember they used to have like the guides back in the day. What was it called? I think it started with a P. You used to get a those actual paper copy guides at the beginning of the year, and it would explain the game. They don't do that stuff anymore. If they just explain some of the new stuff, I think it'd be fine, man. I think people would be okay with it. I think people want to learn because a lot of this stuff is taken from real life, right? All right, so this is like a formation right here. Again, they're kind of giving me a funky look. This is where cover 9 might be better versus the trips tight end formation. What's up, Derek? What's going on? Should the vert hook? Oh no, you gotta do this to me, huh? Man, where should he go in a run fit? I mean, it depends on the run, right? Most of the time, you're talking about the vert hook and cover 9, so that's gonna be your nickel, right? He's just gonna fit. He's gonna be a fill player. He should always try to probably fill inside out because you have a corner that's outside. That's your force player, right? So he's gonna be a fill player. He's probably gonna fill, depending on where he's standing. He's gonna fit inside of the blocker and try to penetrate up the field. But a lot of times, I'll be honest with you, because those guys are so far out of the box, it really doesn't matter. So it's really on like an outside zone play where it really matters too much. But we can look at what Madden has because you guys taught me how it works, right? I can look at that right now. So let's see how it goes. Well, the outside corner technically should be the force player, if I'm not mistaken, right? He's not going to keep everything inside of him, right? I don't think that's the case. I could be wrong. Again, we got to look at the formation exactly where he's aligned. I hate that they're doing this right now. I'm going to call cover 1. Screw you guys. Computer wants to mess around with me. Oh yeah, if the corner, I mean, the corner is so far, yeah, then it makes sense. If it's like a 3x1 set, then yeah. I'm thinking more of a 2x2, or in today's NFL, so much snug formations. A lot of time he has to fit in between the receiver and the O tackle. All right, here we go. We actually have 3x1. We got cover 6 against a pro set. I'm gonna take a look at this replay. I'm just letting the game play in the background. How cheesy is this play, man? How stupid and cheesy is this play, right? So it's 13 personnel, right? And it's a stick combination, but obviously number 1 in stick, yeah, he's running a vertical route. Almost no different if this was a spread 3x1. And we're just going to force the ball right there. I mean, if people did this in real life, I would just be like, wow. I don't think I've ever seen this before. But anyway, this is really box over here. I know it's a little bit funky. I've seen the corner jump out like this. I gotta probably back him up because that's just really opening up the window right now. But that's the corner's play to make, right? You would hope that the safety would be sitting here and reacting a little bit better, but whatever. It's just so weird. I'm not gonna overanalyze this crap. The backside over here, this is just cover 2. I think I got him in a cloud. The corner may not always get hands on number 1. Obviously, if he runs a slant route or something underneath, he may not get hands on him. But his job is to funnel him inside, obviously. He doesn't want him to get outside. I got to look at how the corners play when it comes to outside release seam routes. Do they do a good job of funneling? So, we got pair again. So, cover 6 is fine versus this any type of 3x1 set. Doesn't matter if it's 3 tight ends, 2 tight ends. Play action. I didn't put the corner. I think I left the corner in a soft squat, but it doesn't matter. The ball's going the other way. So, no reason to really talk about this at all. Play action. We're just going to get, again, a semi version of box. The corner's going to take the deepest guy out this bunch. He's got that. Look at the footwork of this guy. Boop boop. This is so embarrassing. Boop 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 boop. You guys, I used to be a safety, so I get so pissed off. I try not to show it on stream, but like, what the hell is this? Now, I do know. I think this is where some other people might be better at this stuff. But when you do keep, I don't know if it makes a difference if this is a squat corner, but a backside safety playing deep half, especially with the field sense awareness, they do squeeze post routes. Right, so you see how he matches this post route across the field. I mean, not the post route, like the crosser, the deep crosser. They do that. So something to think about. I know some people will try to strategize against that and try to attack his technique, but they do a good job. If there's not a freaking corner sitting there getting in the way. I don't know if it matters what kind of cover 2 it is. If you know, let me know. Like if it's a soft squat cover two, everybody's kind of like in a match mentality. If it's a cloud flat cover two, I'm thinking that that safety may not take that guy across the field. Right? I mean, obviously there's no work to take him, but he's not going to match him hard. It's just like stay over the top of him. I'm not quite sure. Again, the one weakness I have in my own coaching background is cover two in general. We didn't play a lot of cover two. If we called cover six, we most of the time we clamped. We did clamp. We did cone. Cone is a double team on number one with the safety in the corner. We just tried to make it more like playing two man. To be honest with you, instead of because Tampa two man. Who runs Tampa two? Does anybody still actually run Tampa two anymore? I think the only team I know people do it on third down. Steelers kind of run it because Tomlin still loves him some Tampa two. Okay, what we got here? Let me take a look what you guys are saying. What are teams like playing cover two versus the star player, especially if he's in the twin set? What about two verts? I mean, just think about it. If you're a wide receiver, bro, it's hard to play against cover two. You know what I'm saying? You're working through underneath guys who are being aggressive, right? Maybe getting hands on you. If you're in the slot, you may not get hands on you, right? But in Tampa twos or other twos, sometimes guys carry slot players, and then you have a safety over the top. You can't get that one-on-one battle that you can get when you go up against quarters. Sometimes, it's just a little bit more. It's a better defense, if I'm, in my opinion, just to double team. And then, like I had just told you, a lot of teams in the NFL, especially in the Fangio defense, they're going to play two man as well. So just because when you're aligned to a cover two side in today's football, doesn't mean you're actually going up against zone. A lot of times you're going up against two man. And that, like I just said, it could be a double team on you. So they can straight double team your ass and lock the other player. So that's what happens a lot too. That's why it's harder to win. Non-traditional Tampa coverages with you guys got me looking at the screen instead of watching the game. Let's go one robbery here. Not the best defense, but it's all right. Actually pretty good versus this. Oh, we got a streak route. Good job. Tampa coverage with a creeper pressure in front of a two roll, two invert type of disguise. A good way to play one high and play up middle of the field open. I do like any of the two invert type of stuff or two roll. I love when the nickel goes back and plays deep half sometimes. Yeah, a lot of non-traditional stuff, man. Not traditional Tampa 2, you're only going to see probably on third and very long. I was watching some of the preseason game against my Niners, and they did that. The Raiders did that on third and long a bunch. They played some cover 2, which I'm surprised to even see. All right, here we go. We got a compression set here. Like I said, I wanted to press this guy, but I didn't get it in time. Let me see if I can get it in time. Good. We got a press corner on the backside. Okay, this is the first time we kind of got a semi-vertical route here. I don't know, 2 went vertical. What's his name came out the backfield, so that's tough. So let's talk through this one real quick. I'm going to pause in this one and talk about this for a second. Exactly. She'll cover 1 and play 2 invert sometimes. Yeah. And have you done that in Madden? I mean, honestly, they have it in Madden. 2 invert. I didn't really jump into a lot last cycle, but I mean, we have 2 invert, the 1 high shell. I'm never really a big fan of the corner playing deep half to the weak side, but have you played some of that? That's something I gotta look into. This is not a cover 2 clinic, but I don't know. You do it at times. I haven't really studied it, and I always felt like every time I tried to run it, I always got beat. I always got like the worst play against it. Usually some sort of vertical route to the weak side, and somebody would be butt naked. You know what I'm saying? And it seemed like the vertical hook players had so much responsibility to the passing strength. But anyway, right now, what I'm looking at here is, again, one of these new formations. You got a stack on the right side. You have pretty much normal spacing, kind of, sort of, right, to the left side. But it doesn't matter. This is where, like, if I was playing quarters to this, I would be worried about the left side right now. I'd be like, okay, are we playing box to it? What's going on? But we're playing cover two with a cloud flat. All right. Looks like we get two routes that are going down the field. It looks like they're about to be verticals by the tight end and by the flanker. I use the word flanker, right? That's an old school word. And then, but the running back came out right now. All right. So the one thing about this is, if this was box, for sure, you know that the three receiver hook player needs to come over here to where the running back is, right? From my studies, from what I've seen, you have to be very aware of this as well when you're playing cover six, okay? Especially if you have a squat corner. But you should be working towards, you still are the three receiver hook player, so that linebacker on the backside should be working towards the side, eyes over there, right? And I don't know how to coach this exactly, if the vertical hook player is going to match number two vertical, right? But because I want to play this cloud flat corner, he's just going to have to get hands on him and be there to make a tackle. If this was a soft squat corner and if he was matching number two vertical, I don't know for a fact, then I would need to get my butt over here with the linebacker, right? And take away this angle route. Either that or I got to go match up number two on a vertical route. So that's why I didn't want to get into the soft squat world, because I know it's a little bit different. But does the vertical hook player play different depending on the cloud corner? That's a question that I have for you guys. KG, you probably know the answer to that. The deep half players play much, much better. Good. Yeah, they used to do real lazy back pedal. Talking about, you guys talking about the two invert, the deep middle safety gets over to his half really quickly. Good, much better than 23. And that was a problem, man. He would just sit there and he wouldn't get enough width. In real life, you got to bust your ass and get over there, man. You got to run to your landmark. I've done so many drills with that where you start in the middle of the field and you get to like +2 of the numbers. You know what I mean? But anyway, I gotta talk about what's going on with this damn vertical hook, man. That's something I gotta look at here. But right now, I did have him in a cloud, right? So this is a little bit of stress now. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Now, if we get one vertical, if it was only one receiver running down the field, like number 81, the safety does get more width naturally. But because of this release of both two guys going deep like this, he's gonna stay pretty much on the numbers, which does open up a little bit of a hole over here to throw it on the outside. But the corners do a good job of getting depth. You see how he sinks back? He's going to sink back to about probably 15 yards at the end of the day. So this looks like this guy is running an out route, kind of like a flood combination. He would have been sitting underneath that route, which I think is pretty good. So you know what? Cover two might be better this year. Might be better. Might be better. But that's a good example right there. If that was quarters coverage, let me look at this real quick. If this was quarters coverage, right, he would have stayed on one, right? Safety would have ended up playing this out route, right? That would have been a tough play for him to make. And then this player here, the quarter flat defender, would have been matched up on this angle route. And depending on, I'm not sure how well they play angle routes this year, it might have been a tough play. But heading into that little cover two cloud, it was a lot cleaner, and it was an easy tackle. It got a couple yards, but I think it's a lot cleaner. Yeah, we said it's great. Yo, you really loving this cover two. If I just called regular cover two, it sounds like it's the best defense in the world. Are you going to play regular cover two? Or are you going to do it like how everybody else is doing it, playing cover six and cover nine? I was just about to move that safety down. Let me show you this play too. So another disguise that I like to do, natural disguise. I like to play with safeties every now and then. I really wish I could play with the safeties all game. So this is cover six, right? Versus obviously a 22 personnel set, a heavy set, right? My disguise that I would naturally do is take the strong safety and walk him down, right? To almost linebacker depth. Maybe 5 yards. Maybe not so close, right? And it will look kind of like a bastardized version of cover three, right? People may not be sure what's going on. But I would still play my quarters assignment against a tight end, especially if the tight end's not fast, just from shallow depth. And obviously, teams are going to run stretch. That would allow me to hopefully fit this run up a lot faster, right? I'm the read force player. I would have been there a lot sooner. I was just about to click on him on this play, but I didn't get a chance to. So, back in the day, I used to play a ton of just cover three, cover one. Like that was my baby, especially while I was coaching. And in order to get like another version of it or an 8-man box look, I would do this, right? That's a bad job on me right there. But I would play cover six, walk the safety down myself. I wouldn't click off of him. You can click off of him in some leagues, but that's not in my leagues. You have to use the guy. But I would show that kind of single high look, right? Or I would come out in cover three. Let me see if I can do it real quick. I can't do it to this formation, but I would come out and actually come out in cover three, show cover three, hold on to the strong safety, check the cover six, and then I would whatchamacallit, I would play cover six from there. That's a little risky when it comes to having to cover two vertical, but it gives you another disguise. The computer, it's the end of the third quarter. The computer was just about to try to get me. Watch this, right? So the computer, I was in cover six. And I think one of the ways to beat cover six in general, or to attack it, is to run four verticals and try to attack that cover two side. This would have been the cover two side, right? I would not a really good release, really by the outside tight end, but it would have been interesting if this was cover two versus this. Now, personally, like I told you guys, I don't like to play split safety defense out of base personnel versus slot formation, so I just checked the cover one. Because I checked the cover one, they were running a play that was good against cover two, and cover one, to me, in my world, is good versus four verticals, if my corners are good enough. So, what's up, Finesse? Nice name, man, Finesse. What do you say? Match defense is broken on all Madden. It plays better on all pro. Oh boy, don't start doing that all pro versus all Madden stuff. Why? That would make no sense. Because all pro usually the defense is always one step behind. Why would it be better on all pro? The rule that they're playing their rules better. You know, that's an interesting comment. Yeah, cover one is the best defense. Cover one is the best defense. Okay, 2x2. Let's try to get this corner pressed. I couldn't get it done in time. I'm playing this game. I'm half paying attention, but I'm not really getting any routes versus cover six right now from the Chargers that are really making me worried. And that's the reason why I'm playing against the computer on all Madden, because usually they give you the toughest routes. All right, tight end trips offset. This is going to be a nub formation. I'm going to stay out of the 2-3 dime because I think they really kind of mess up their alignments. I'm going to let him play squat. Oh, I guess we're not going to get that formation. Oh, we're going to get empty. Okay. We're going to let this play out with a cloud flat on this side. Three receiver hook player. Come on. Come on, computer. Where are you going? Tray open. Cover six. Let's do it at a nickel. All right, come on, give me something. Come on, computer, give me something. Give me something. That's a good route over there. Look like another option route. This is shock H option. I'm still not backing up the nickel. You guys got to get me on that. I got to back the nickel up. Got to keep forgetting we got palms over here because that's a real weakness right now. Where'd the ball go? I'm thinking about this. I really don't want to do this, but I'm thinking about if I'm going to play palms, and I know people know this, I might take the corner and put him in a deep assignment. I don't like to do stuff like this, but I might put him in a deep third. What do you guys think? Now I know that opens up obviously this route, you know what I'm saying? But I would just probably If that's the case, if I know he's in a deep third, I don't know. See, now I'm getting into. I'm trying to think about formation plays that would screw that up. If I got four verticals, yeah, I would. I can use the nickel and know that as long as two and three don't go vertical, like I'm gonna play like this. This is a smash concept. I can just go get this right now with the nickel. You know what I mean? If that's gonna become a problem, just play solo with this. Wait, you talking about on the backside? So solo to you, solo to me is always the backside. What do you mean by that? I'll wait for your answer. The college differences. Just run quarters instead of palms. Oh, just run quarters. Yeah, you're right. Just run quarters. You're right. That should be good, right? Because he's gonna be playing mod, right? He sits down, here back up, and that play should be fine versus that. Uh, it's one of those things where like I know, yeah, you're right. Just you have the right answer. Sometimes people try to bastardize things, and that's the first thing I learned. Like in college, I was a college coach for about 10 years, and college programs, especially on defense, they want to have an answer to everything, which is not the way you should coach. Everything has a weakness, everything has a strength. You might get beat on something, you can always change to another coverage. But sometimes I was in meeting rooms in college and we would be like, oh man, this week, just like I'm doing right, just like I did right here. Hey, we want to play our palms. We want to play palms. We want to play cover six. And they're running this route this week. Let's change the assignment. Let's do this. Let's do that. And then next thing you know, you have a big amoeba of checks after like 5, 6 weeks of like that are not good versus some teams, good versus other teams. The best thing to do is to do what? Just change the coverage. And if you don't know what coverage to play, in the NFL, you can get away with this. Play cover one. Just lock it up, man it up. I got my man, you got your man. All right, let's go. Is this a cloud flat over here? There's a cloud flat on the backside. 3rd and 3. Ooh, three receiver hook. Where you at? Where are you at? Let me see. This is a 3-by-1. Was this a bunch like a formation here? It was. That's interesting. Somebody was talking about playing with more linebackers on the field. I'm wondering if coming out in 13 personnel this year and running good pass plays would be good this year. This is like a follow right here, right? Number 2 comes under. He runs like an angle right behind him. So the only guy that can actually play this is the outside linebacker, the quarter flat defender, because your inside part of your wall is going to be taken by your wall player is taken by your 3 receiver hook. So he's going to jump that. The only guy that can take this is your outside linebacker, which is really hard because he's in a tight set, or your safety who doesn't have any work, who should be sitting there and at least make a catch tackle. Nice play though. Poor throw. 13 personnel in the NFL for passing is the uptick because of the lighter. Yeah, man. Yes, sir. You don't understand, like 13 personnel in the NFL. When I was coaching, when I was in Denver, we had to play against the Chiefs a lot. The Chiefs were so good at coming out in 13 personnel, and they would come out in all types of formations. They would come out in 13 personnel, but they would put Kelsey at slot receiver and come out in ace formation, ace slot formations. And you had to have so many checks. What ends up happening is when teams are versatile, like the 49ers do this all the time, right? When teams are versatile, they'll come out in 21 personnel, but they come out in a spread set, empty sets out of 21, which they have in the game this year. They have like this base defense that's a 2-by-2 spread defense, spread off of it. I think it's like the same formation that's gun, Y normal, gun, normal, Y off. So it's kind of like that hybrid, that new hybrid 2-by-2. Is it spread or is it compressed? They have it out of 21 personnel, so they have juice in the slot or something like that, and they have like their halfback in the slot. Anyway, what I'm trying to say, a long-winded way of saying, is that from a defensive point of view, if you don't know the formation, which you don't in real life, now you have like one check. Hey, check quarters, check man, Every time they come out in it, and then pretty soon they're gonna know what defense you're in, and you're gonna be screwed. You know what I'm saying? So I can definitely see that being. And then you can just come out and just come out a heavy set and just run down their throat, run some duo, run some whatever you want to run at a 13 personnel. Oof, kind of like that. Tons of 13 after Tyreek Hill. Yeah, man. Yeah, the Chiefs, boy, they were. Oh my God, I can show you. Oof. Because that's the thing. Like when you're at a staff, everybody has their different roles. One of my roles when I was with Denver was to go back and watch a lot of the old game plays. Like they. Okay, let me go back into this in a second. Here's something you guys. You know how people talk about the Patriots and how good they are and how they come up with a new game plan every week on offense. The Chiefs are kind of like that too. How they're always cutting edge and how do they come up with all these plays? Oh, la 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 la. Let me tell you something about Andy Reid, and let me tell you something about Josh McDaniels. What they do, and I learned this when I was with the Jets, when I was on offense with the Jets, and I learned it from Brian Schottenheimer. What they actually do is just keep a book, a running book versus each coordinator, right? So if I'm Jim Schwartz, right, what they do is every time they play you, they find plays that work well against your style of defense, whatever it is. And a lot of defensive coordinators will have tendencies on like after you get beat on a long pass, what's the next call? A lot of guys on defense would be, I'm going to zero blitz you, right? What's your tendency? They know your defense. They know, you guys play quarters match defense. They know how to break it, right? So basically, they have a book on each coordinator. So when they play you, they go back into the archives. I know this is a messed up defense. They go back into the archives and will find the plays that worked against you over the past like 10 years, especially if you've been in the league that long. And it's so scary that Andy Reid actually is so predictable. And this is something that helped us play them back in the day. He will call the exact same play at the exact same time in the game. It's crazy. So coming out of a half, right? He will call the exact same like trick play around the 8-minute mark of the third quarter versus a certain coordinator every time he plays him. And he doesn't even know that's his own tendency. I remember sitting there and breaking it down, going back and watching like the last 5 times that Andy Reid played against Wade Phillips. And I went back until like when Wade was like a coordinator in Dallas and Wade was a coordinator with the Texans. And I would look at it and like he had a tendency where he would always call his trick play against Wade at the same time. And we sat there and I put it on for the DBs and I played the film like 2008, 2010, 2012. Same time of the game, same trick play, or a variation of some sort of trick play. And dudes, that's how they game plan sometimes. And I don't even know if they know that, but it's because they have a book on a coordinator, and they are just running scripts based off of a coordinator. So, and most teams will go back and watch the last 3 games of that season. So if we play in week 7, everybody goes back in football. I'm going to watch week 6, week 5, week 4. I might go back and find a game of a team that plays a defense like me. You're not going to get the plays that they ran against another coordinator. You're going to get plays that are specific for your defense. Shanahan does the same thing too. That's a lot of times that you feel like these game plans are so crazy. It's really just because that's the game plan versus that coordinator. So I just wanted to teach you guys that. And once you learn that, then going up against New England's and going up against some of these good defenses and good offenses aren't so hard. You kind of know what's happening. Boop. Yeah, man, like New England, right? So I played New England a lot over the years. Obviously, I coached with the Jets, the Bills, and then the Broncos. So we played New England. For the Broncos, it was going to be either once during the regular season because we were the 2 leaders of our division, and then it's going to be sometime in the postseason. So we played them twice a year, right? The game plan that they used against us the last time we played them, we went to the Super Bowl. We beat them in the AFC Championship game. A lot of the same ideas that they used was the same ideas that when when the Rams played the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl. The Rams ran a lot of the same concepts they ran against Denver in that championship game. Plays that should have worked, plays that didn't work, things that were open. So they used it from a whole different team, but the same defensive coordinator. So it was easy for me. I watched that game on TV, and I'm like, oh, there goes the formation they ran against us in Denver. They're going to run it again. Here it goes. And I'm pretty sure Wade knew that, which allowed them to play. The game was pretty low scoring game, and that helps. I'm looking at this right now. This is a good little matchup out here. I'm talking to you guys about football, so I'm kind of all right. Let me just look at this footwork real quick. We're in man coverage here, guys. This is just man. I just wanted to see what happens here. Ooh, I like the hand play. This is one thing I liked about man coverage. I like how it seems like the receivers and DBs are doing little things with their hands and their arms to kind of like impede progress. Look at Ramsey kind of like put his hand there a little bit. He kind of missed. Kind of love. I can't wait to get to the man stuff, guys. I'm a man guy. I love man more than anything else. Looking for the ball, knocking it out. Oh, he actually caught that ball. Oh shit. Let me go back on this. Don't like how the receiver kind of turned his eyes. That's kind of unrealistic. So actually, I think he did hit the ball. I can't really tell. Good catch by that guy. Interesting. Sorry, guys. I'm telling stories. Not paying attention. Let's go at it. We're pretty much done with this game. Let's finish this one up. Let's not quit it. Let's just simulate. All right, I'm going to go look at your questions here in a second, guys. Oh, it's overtime? I didn't even know it was 20-20. Okay, let's keep on playing. Let me just pause it for a second. Chiefs. Madden doesn't have enough duo. The play duo, right? The run play. They added a lot about it, man. Belichick on defense, yeah. He goes off of tendencies of what they do, what happened the previous play to set up the next play. Yeah. People do it. People do it at. I do it in Madden sometimes. If I'm really going up against somebody and I really want to game plan a little bit, if you watch a guy play, you can kind of figure out what their next play call is going to be based off the previous one. Right? You sack the guy, right? Most guys will probably run. They might just run the ball, get themselves back on track. They might be a hothead and try to pass it again. So you kind of have an idea what's coming next. A lot of halfback counters with the pullers, 11 personnel actually. All Madden at his finest. Finesse, you're not an all Madden guy, huh? I'm with you, bro. I understand. This is that's my old school part of me that I've always played in leagues that was all Madden. I know the computer cheats on all Madden, on both sides, but especially on defense too. But I've always kind of forced myself to play the game that way. I've played in all pro leagues, and I just feel like the game is too easy. Too easy to score. Defense doesn't react fast enough. All pro kind of makes it so that you can make poor decisions on defense and get away with it. That's what I don't like about all pro. Yeah, I don't like to run nickel versus this, but we're going to do it anyway. I'm actually going to play with this linebacker. Oh, got me on the play action. Good stuff. Being a 49ers fan, I love that play. Sometimes the fullback doesn't ever get out, though. Kind of gets caught up in the junk. You call a play, computer picks it. Oh yeah, against the computer. I don't ever play against the computer. I'm not a franchise guy that plays against the computer. I use it just for practice, and I'm using it for that reason, knowing that the computer is going to pick the perfect play against me. So early in the cycle, I'm kind of getting an idea of what plays can beat cover six. And if you guys have just watched this game, it really hasn't been that much. I've been expecting some more beaters, but I haven't really seen that much. My fault. Hesitation. So that's the reason why I'm doing this right now. Most of the year on my channel, bro, I'm going to be playing against people in leagues. If we want to play, with some random games too for fun, we can do that. But yeah, I'm playing against people in leagues. So this is just the early process. And then I do practice against the computer just to get my timing down. So I do that. But yeah, all Madden to me is good versus head opponents only. Damn, it's gonna get stuck. Still, I can't make changes. All right. Here goes a little trap play. 49ers. Niners. So I'm on Discord. So just hit in Geronimo22 and just send me a DM. A couple guys. There's a Discord called Game Plan, which I'm a part of. There's a lot of good guys in there that talk sim football. And then in my league, I run a Madden league. In that league, you can join that league and just be like, just stick around, just hang out, watch games. And I have a little thread, a channel within the league that we just talk about like real life stuff, real football. Sometimes I'll post like plays from playbooks and stuff like that, places I've been, or I have a lot of resources of getting like other playbooks from real life, and we'll post plays and stuff like that. We'll talk about concepts on offense, defense, all types of stuff. I'm cheating here, guys. I'm playing a little cover one. I'm actually gonna press this. I want to see what happens. I'm gonna sit over the top of this. I'm not gonna worry about the tight end so much. Quick game. It's 30 inches. I wasn't gonna sit there and play cover six on 30 inches. So you can see a little bit of my real life situation here. All right, we got gun empty base flex. Um, cover nine is going to be tough here because we have this vertical hook player needs to run with number three, right? This is almost like playing a Tampa 2 here. If he goes vertical. Wow. Is that the running back who just did that? You want the game plan? Yeah, game plan to score. Definitely active there, man. Watching for years. I love the All Madden, but I hate that they made him make the DBs have the bad footwork. The computer can just drive the ball in. Yeah, I'm with you, man. They all have amazing footwork. You're right. It's tough, man. I think the one thing, whatever level you choose to play on, just play on it consistently for forever, really, because then you're used to how the game plays. I know there's some leagues out there that do play an All Pro, and I've tried to play in them. Some sim leagues, and it just feels like being a defensive guy. Most of the time, the defense is just not good on All Pro, even with sliders. All right, well, I got to look at cover six there. I didn't really get a chance to really break it down the way I want to, so maybe we should jump into some practice mode. Let's see. Let's just talk about some of the stuff in cover six a little bit. I want to kind of go through with you guys live what are the responsibilities of the vertical hook player and all that stuff. Because, like I told you, I'm not 100% on it. So I can use your advice. You got some real smart guys in the chat right now, so you guys can help me out. Everybody's gonna say 3-by-1 formations. You know, again, I like it as a change up. So I would also say if you know it's a passing down, a lot of people sometimes will take advantage of coming out in trips tight end, gun trips tight end, so like a nub tight end on the backside with three receivers lined up away from the tight end. I like to use it there. And I like to make sure that there's a disguise with it. So if you can run it out of, if you can find a set where there's like cover nine, show two, I feel like that's pretty good. But 3-by-1 sets is where I would use it the most. Trips. Unless you want to do what we were talking about and try to double team the best receiver, then you can use it in 2-by-2. When I say double team, you want to play cover two to that side. Why do I keep going back on this? All right. Who has some other good corners we can work with? We'll go with the Ravens and get a decent offense. Let me just jump on and bring another controller in real quick. So I'm just going to look at cover six a little bit, just try to talk about some of the things. live with you guys. All you cover two guys, man. Let's go. You guys are up. You guys are up. Talk to me about cover two. From a playbook standpoint, I don't know which playbook I want to talk about using. Stock, let's just use Minnesota. It's fine. We can find routes. All right. If you guys know me best, I'm always going to go up 4 verticals. If you can't stop 4 verticals in life, you know, you're done. You're fired. But we're going to talk about 4 verticals because it's going to be probably the thing that's going to come up the most. Let's do it out of concept. Let's just come out. I want to come out in a nickel set, all right? It doesn't really matter which nickel set I use. We'll go 3-3 odd. All right. Well, you know, I'm going to start with cloud. I'm being biased. It's my stream. I'm going to do cloud. Let me see if I just back the defense up a little bit. Back the offense up. Put on a hash. All right. So what do we got here? Are you guys talking about cover 9, bunch, trips? Yep. Spread doubles with a running back on the strong side. Interesting. Why would you want to do that? Strong side meaning like to the passing strength? Yeah, I guess because he could come out to that side. All right, so here we go. That's what you're talking about. First hook has a wall 2 responsibility at all time. Wall 2. What do you mean by wall 2? If 2 comes inside on a short route, a shallow route, he's going to wall him. So this player right here, you're saying that he's going to wall 2 if he comes inside, no matter what. Okay, I see what you're saying. He's gonna try to get, yeah. He's gonna. The funny thing is that I don't really see him. Well, he's gonna funnel him outside. That makes sense. Yep. Cover 6 versus tight formations. I mean, you're not gonna get any hands on anybody. That's for sure. The one thing I want to talk about right now really is what happens on vertical routes. Okay, and it makes a difference where the running back is aligned too. That makes a big difference. But the vertical hook player, I'm gonna go with. It doesn't matter if it's. Let's just use it the way it is in the game. Most of the time it's soft squat, right? So we'll do soft squat. He's gonna run with number 2 if 2 goes vertical. Is that correct? Because the way I saw it last year was that he should. The way I saw it last year was if there was a number 3 to his side, if 3 went to the flat, he wouldn't take 2 vertical. So if the running back was aligned over here, if I can move him, hold on. If the running back was over here, right, in 2x2, if the running back went to the flat, the vertical hook would just become a hook defender. He wouldn't match 2 vertical in this route concept. Obviously, if the back is over here, he's not worried about him, so he would match 2 vertical here. So that's what I noticed. But again, in practice mode, it was a little bit different. It wasn't always the same. And I actually made a video, but I never produced it. I never put it out there. But I wanted to talk about his responsibility. So let's just take a look at it. We got soft squat. We got floor verts. All right. So he runs with him here, right? And then obviously the soft squat corner is going to match 1 because there's nobody in the flat. So it almost looks like 2-man, right? Let's do it again. I'm going to keep the running back in because sometimes when he comes through the line, it kind of messes things up. Let's try it again. So this is the soft squat. Boom. Actually, hold on. Let me, I might just clip this for somebody. Somebody on my Discord was asking me about this. Let me see if I can find him. See if he's available. Because he wanted me to do a video on this. And I told him I'm not 100% on this stuff. Let me see if I can find VD. Hold on 1 second. If not, I'll just clip this part for the video for him. All right. So we're good there, right? Carries 2 and trail technique, right? He will almost always do that whenever there's no middle read. Now that was the other thing too. Yeah, that's right. Thanks for reminding me. If you put a middle read in here, so if you that's where in Tampa 2 you have a middle read, right? But I think you could do it here anyway. If I put this guy in a middle read, I always got confused. Now, if it was Tampa 2, you would have another vertical hook over here. So let's just make this hook. Can I do this here? I can't do that here. Yes, I can. Hold up. There would be two vertical hooks in Tampa 2, right? I always got confused versus four verticals. Which side does the middle read go to, right? Because it would always be the middle read would be responsible usually for what? The passing strength in Tampa 2. But obviously, if we're playing just regular cover 6, there's no worry. We don't have to worry about that, right? So talk to me about that. The side with three receivers. So you're talking about to the side. If this is 2x2 with the back over here, this is the three receiver side. All right. Let's come back to the middle read stuff because that's something that I think a lot of people don't understand that stuff. Like that does affect things. But right now in cover 6, in the Fangio world, we don't have to worry about middle read. So the vert hook would always go out with 2. So let me just kind of do it a few more times and we just roll with that. So he's being pretty consistent. Back is away. Doesn't matter if obviously it doesn't matter what one does, right? If one runs like a China route like this, he doesn't play him there. So is he reading 2 to 1? I'm gonna run it again. One comes under. Vert hook didn't go. So the vert hook is he reading 2 to 1? Yeah, the mic does relate in every coverage to cover 3. If you're a 3 receiver hook player, he should relate to him. That's going to set him where he needs to go. Absolutely. But obviously, if he wasn't a 3 receiver hook player, then he would be another type of player, which would be a middle read player. Yeah, he reads 2 to 1. Okay, so that's easy, right? He reads 2 to 1, so that's good. So any type of like short route of 1, let's just get this going, then he won't become that, which makes sense because then the safety should be able to stay over the top of number 2, right? If he runs any type of route he runs. All right, so we're good there. The only other route that I don't have right now would be like a corner route. I wish I had a tight end that I could just put him on a thing. On a corner route, he won't match him. He'll work with him, like you said. He'll funnel him to the outside, but he won't match him. Let me not do that. Let me get. But I do want to show you something. I think with the running back, or where 3 relates to. And this is the part that I wanted to teach people last year. I did put it, I think, in a quick video, but god damn, I'm trying to. I really don't want to do something crazy here. Come on, can I get a corner route? I get a flood concept. All right, let's do concepts. It's the bad thing when I don't have a custom playbook right now. Let's give me flood. Should be some sort of like flood concept at a 2x2. I don't want to do it with the back. Come on, guys. Of course, we don't have what I want right now. Anyway, if the tight end ran a corner route in that same play, then the whatchamacallit, the vertical hook would come off and just play the hook. He wouldn't obviously chase that because you have a corner who's going to come off late on that corner and play that. That should be correct, right? Where am I at? Where am I at? I'm like bugging right now. I hate new playbooks. All right, we'll just do this again. Yep. Vert hook drops off a vertical and one cuts the dagger out. So let's talk about that. So if we did this, dagger, the vert hook, I think, does he stay on this guy? Nope, he comes off there. Good job there. So he reads that late. So it's a very interesting technique. But again, let's talk about it before I move the running back over. All right. Let me just see what happens let me just go into cloud. Does that change anything? So as soon as I put this corner in a cloud, right? Does that change the vert hook against 4 verts? Doesn't change him at all there, right? So he's still going to match versus that. He would still, I'm assuming, do the same thing and everything else. What other situation would it matter? I guess it wouldn't matter in any other situation. Am I right about that? So it doesn't matter. If I put this guy in a cloud flat, the only guy that's playing a true zone is going to be the corner, right? he's not going to match this corner, but the vert hook still is. Let me just do it again. Depending on what number one does, obviously. All right. So the next part of this would be 2x2. Back is, let me, instead of me motioning the back over, let me just find a formation where he's already over there. Let me go 2x2. I really don't want to do a spread set. I want to keep it a little bit closer. Come on, you guys. All right, good. Normal Y off. Perfect. All right. So now we have this. So the rules do change here, right? Let me give you an easy example. Back goes to the flat right now. Swings to the flat, which doesn't happen too often, but, you know, it does happen. From what I noticed here, even though we have the soft squat and everything like that, the vertical hook player would not match 2. He will actually become a hook player here, right? Because what's going to happen? The soft squat's going to come off and play the flat. We're playing cover 2. And this player here, the 3 receiver hook player, is working towards 3. So he's reading on this side of the field anyway. As soon as 2 goes to the flat, his new number 3 becomes what? The tight end. And in my personal opinion, he should kind of replace and run up with the tight end on this play. That's how I would teach it. I don't know if that's bastardized. That makes sense to me. I don't think the computer does that. But in this case, you're putting your safety in a lot of stress. Of course, the tight end doesn't get off. But you see how much stress you put in the safety in as soon as the back flares out? Let me do it again. Back flares out. Hopefully the tight end can get off the ball. Right? You see how much stress we're putting that guy in? Safety is getting a lot of width. It's getting more. I mean, the tight end's getting jammed up, so I understand why the safety on that play kind of just kept on going wide. But to me, this would be something that I would use the middle linebacker, and I would replace my vertical hook player as soon as 2 goes out, and I would look to match this over here, right? What do you guys think about that? So that is a real thing. Dropping the crease. Comes off vertical hook and 2. Okay. Oh, that's the same thing. That's a different conversation. So did you guys see that here with this? This is not, I don't know if this is real life. Again, I didn't coach in the cover 2 defensive world, especially when it comes to matching cover 2. But if I ever got this type of play, as soon as 3 flares out, I would start working over towards the new number 3. At least being, maybe with depth, maybe more like a middle read player, getting depth here just so that I can get in the window. What's up, Schemes? Going on, man? Yeah, we were playing a game. So this whole week, I wanted to play games and just go against the computer, all Madden, because they always run the hardest routes against every coverage. So every stream, I'm just trying to focus on one coverage. But cover 6 was really not getting, which is a good thing. We were playing against the Chargers. The Chargers were not really giving us anything to challenge cover 6. So I decided just to come over here in practice mode and just talk with some guys. And a lot of guys in here are really good guys. They really know a lot about cover 6, and at least the cover 2 side for sure. And I really want to talk about that a little bit. So I'm trying to figure out what are some of the problems that cover 6 can present. And right now we're looking at the soft squat corner. I don't like how the soft squat corner just always comes down so hard, so fast. I wish he would come down when the ball was, at least the quarterback is looking to the flat. Because that just makes this safety's job so much harder. You know what I'm saying? That's why cover 9 is better for a double spread strong. All right, let me see what you're saying. Cover 9 is better for spread strong. So that would be a spread strong, right? Cover 6 for spread weak. So you're saying if it was like if the tight end was removed from the box, you think it would be better? I don't why? Because I don't see why that would make a difference. Four to the side of the back. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Yep. Interesting. Because then you don't have to worry about the back, the 3 getting involved. I like that. Cover 4 to the side of the back. If we know the back is involved, you pretty much, it's almost like you're saying, it's like empty, right? It's almost like they're saying they're coming out in 3x2 empty. The back's going to be part of the passing game. You want to play cover 4 to that side and play cover 2 away from the other side, and you should be pretty good. I like that. Good stuff. Scheme, good job coming up in here and cleaning that up for me right there. I like that, man. That's pretty good. So, anyway, this is the Fangio world. Again, I'm not part of the Fangio world, guys. Um, I know some of his teachings, and I have different lingo, but I'm sure that's a lot of what's going on. So, anyway, the one thing also, let's look at the option. Let's just look at when the back goes through the line of scrimmage, right? Again, if we were playing 4, it would probably be easier. I agree. But if we're playing cover 2 here, we're playing the soft squad again. So we get the same thing there, right? The back went through the line of scrimmage. The vertical hook player is not going to match 2 vertical, right? Back's over here, back blocks. He will match 2 vertical. If the back comes through the line of scrimmage and works to the strong side, to the passing strength, he will slowly match and match the vertical, all right? An angle route, I don't have that right now, but any type of route that pretty much works out to the flat is when he comes off. And that's where I would think I personally would just take this linebacker, and I'll be focused on this anyway, and I would at least just try to make it so that this throw would have to be thrown high. That's how I would play it. So, but again, another thing, we were saying this earlier before we got here, Scheme, it really is sometimes the best answer, especially in the heat of battle. Instead of giving yourself a new technique, like giving myself right now, and maybe bastardizing a coverage, it's just to call a different coverage. Just call cover 4, like you said, a cover 9. So, yeah, cover 2 can have some big holes. Well, the other thing is this. So that's where let's talk about that one play again. I'm going to get into some other routes, but I want to just take a look at what I like. Again, I like to play cover 6. What do you guys think about this? You think I'm crazy? I don't like soft squat. I like cloud flats. And the reason why is if I get the same problem right here, at least the cloud flat might F up the outside streak. You know what I'm saying? He might get him, he might knock him off a little bit. Right? Kind of released. All right. I mean, right there wasn't great, but he might do a better job. What's his name? Is he on the other side right now? Let me flip this play. I want to see what my boy better corner can do. Humphrey. Oh, I just did the same thing. Hold on one second. Give me a second here. Got 2 controllers. I just think the cloud flat just gives you that jam, which could slow down the receiver. You guys think I'm crazy or what? I'm just going to put it into this boundary over here. Doesn't really matter, but yeah, they get hands on a receiver, right? So, oops, keep forgetting which controller I got. So I'm going to take Humphrey, put him in a cloud flat, right? And I'm just going to take the running back and just swing him out. Again, doesn't really matter. But I just want to put stress on the defense. Look at at least a little bit of a bump. I guess it's really not that much. This is the NFL. I mean, that's not really going to do much, right? What other answers you guys got? Like squats. They trap the flats really well. Yeah, but you see how if they for some reason, again, a better coverage is better, but if they catch you off guard, it's a little bit hard. If nobody comes to the flat, which most of the time nobody comes to the flat, I do like it, but I just want to have an answer for this just in case. Maybe I'm over analyzing the situation. Let me just try something real quick. I want to put Ramsey here, and I want to press Ramsey. Just want to see what kind of press job he does to this. And I am going to put this guy to the flat, but he's in the cloud flat. Let's see how well he stays on the press. He doesn't really get great hands on him. He comes down late. All right. Let me go back to that replay. I don't think there's much to talk about right here, guys. I'm just kind of looking at the press. I mean, I really would like to see him try to win this. I'm just putting him, he's just on a regular. Is the streak different in 4 verticals? Let me look at the actual route itself. Is it an outside release streak? Yeah, it has that little bendy outside. That makes a huge difference, right? Like if I was to put him in a regular streak, which nobody does, right? But if I was to do that, would that change what's happening here with the corner? Would he do a better job of funneling him? Maybe I'm overanalyzing this, but I mean, yeah, he went inside, but it's because of the route. The route release is different. I mean, that's what you want, right? So, all right. Let's see what else we got to talk about from a cover two standpoint. Cover six. I like it versus crosses. We already talked about that. Um, yeah, it has a mandatory outside release. I didn't know if the game always put that, but you can see the routes. A lot of these routes in general, like even the Y stick I'm looking at right now, you can see that little. You have to look at it on the field, but they always have that outside release. But definitely mandatory outside release. That's their landmarks. Get to the what is it? To get to the red line. Is that what it is? Did they take the red line off the field? All right. Anybody have any other questions about cover six? I want to see something in cover six right now. I think also cover six. If you don't, I think cover six is actually good last year versus. I haven't really looked at like crossing routes, like deep play action crossing routes, like the Yankee concept and all that stuff. And um, I just want to take a look, see if maybe I can find one. Let's go just cover six out of over. See if we have any. This is they should have some deep crossing routes that I can get to. Maybe not this formation. They got it. All right, there we go. All right. All right. So in the West Coast world, they got Ryder, right? People call this the Yankee concept. I've always liked cover six versus this. I felt like that corner, if you put him into, if he's naturally in soft squat, he does a good job of at least showing up in that window, especially if I backed him off, right? I mean, it kind of looked like quarters. I've always thought that that was pretty good. If people want to hold it late, if they were throwing in the first window, it might be open. The second window, no, he didn't come off there. I thought in the past that he would come off and see that late. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's the formation. Maybe it's because both guys are close. Have you guys seen this before? I did this in old Madden. This is my first time doing it in this Madden. I don't think a cloud corner. I don't think he's going to get back that far. But let me just try it anyway. Let me just see if he was there somebody that comes to the flat that would get him. Yeah, this kind of. I always thought this would kind of like confuse some people in the Madden world. So he was in a cloud flat. He kind of played it better from a cloud flat. Soft squat, he just ran up with them. So this was something I liked. But yeah, clouds actually can drift and cut off deep crossers now too. In that third window, I think we just showed that, right? I like that. So clouds is good for those formations. Yeah, it's not bad, right? Now you don't have to even do it out of quarters, right? You can do it out of three cloud if you don't like the way quarters matches up. What happened on the? I haven't looked at this yet, but let me just look at this play. Who takes this? Safety took it. All right. I mean that's not bad, but he's always a little bit late on this. But I always thought that was a good way to make a change up on that play. That's why I like cover 6-4 out of base personnel a lot. I guess you can do it out of nickel if people come out in one of those tight formation sets. If you know where the cross is coming from, it's not bad. I guess technically, has anybody played cover 2 and done the same thing? So you can have two clouds on the field. And one thing is, I noticed that the running back to the flat did not get in the way, right? I think this is he doesn't even come out. I hate when he doesn't come out like that. I thought the guy to the flat might have him come down, but I guess in cloud he doesn't come down. He only comes down once the ball's thrown. Yeah, I like that too. From a disguise standpoint, right? If you think you're gonna get, a team that's gonna run the ball a lot, I haven't looked at run fits a whole lot, but I would maybe back the defense up, right? Just to kind of give a little bit of a disguise. And then I would walk the safety down. I like to play like this sometimes. And that's a little too close. But against a close formation, we used to always teach our safeties if you were like a flat corner, right? Curl flat corner, you need to get your ass, if it's a tight formation, you need to make sure you don't get cracked, right? So get your ass down there, get down lower. Obviously, if this guy was a lot wider, if that wide receiver was a lot wider, we could play a little bit more. But because I am a quarter safety, maybe I want to stand here, right? Just to give myself a little better fit on the run. Technically, I can just make myself the force player right now, but I don't know what's going to happen. I got too wide of a window, and then obviously my linebackers suck ass. So we got to have a whole run fit tape with that. But that's just another disguise. I'm just trying to show you guys a disguise of playing split safety, kind of making it look like a too high, making it look like single safety with my user. Obviously, the corners are kind of giving it away, so I might back them up, right, and go from there. If you hear my stomach rumbling, man, I'm freaking starving. I haven't eaten nothing all day, so. What else you guys got? Run cover two from tight. Surprise a lot of good. Okay. How good you guys are talking about how surprisingly good how good cover two is. I might have to jump into some games, man. Even though I thought it shouldn't. Corner three cover blitz. Big nickel G is nice. Exactly the only way you can get into the cloud from over G. Corner blitz and then put him in a cloud, right? Yeah. That's the other thing that I like. What is it? What was it? What was I trying to think about? Cover six and that. That's pretty much what you can do. I've always wanted to do that just in general. I've always thought about manning up the guy, right? So let's talk about that. Okay, I just jumped into another category. So Fangio guys in here, right? Scheme, you guys know about Fangio and everything. Again, when I coached, we kind of did variations of this, but we would come out and cover six. How easy is it, right, to just come out versus let's say 3-by-1, right? Especially if it's a good team, a good running back, a good X receiver, and then just go through playing games of okay, the quarter side. We know we have palms on the right hand side. So over here, just how much have you guys just started playing man back here and just doing stuff like this and play 2-man, right? Press the corner, do stuff like that. You can do whatever you want. So we would call this all types of stuff, choke, whatever. If you feel really good about your corner, like Humphrey right now, you feel like he's going to win, he's going to do a nice job. How often? It's hard to get sometimes these adjustments in, but you can do stuff like I'm going to use this safety. I'm going to help double team the back, right? You can do that. You can do cone. You can help double team this guy here. Oops, just switched it up by accident. So how often are you playing games in the backside of cover two and changing it into 2-man looks? Yeah, and that's where I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable taking all the quarter stuff and everything that has to do with match quarters and just turning it into man. I'm a lot more comfortable doing that. Da, da, da. Anyway, I got some ideas that I'm thinking about. I've talked about it last year. I don't want to say them too much right now because I want to be one of the first people to do this. But I have some other techniques that I want to use in the 2-man world in Madden this year, and I think I can get it done versus certain formations. So, but anyway, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna take a little bit of a break. I'm gonna get some lunch, and I might come back and we might. I didn't do cover nine. I didn't do cover nine. I should have done cover nine. Let's just look at cover nine real quick. Hold up, because I might have some questions with cover nine. This is on the cover six family. We only have one. Oh, we don't have it here. The Ravens don't have cover nine at all. Oh, the cover nine show too. All right. Again, I know I'm not looking at a lot of different routes right now. It's still early in the Madden world. But talk me through cover nine. This vertical hook player, he's still doing the same thing. 3-by-1, reading 2 and 1. So I'm assuming in this play he's going to obviously match. Got Hamilton in a slot. That's pretty damn scary, boy. I like that. So I'm assuming the rules are the same, right? If I did this again, As long as there's 3 receiver hook player. If I did something silly like this, vertical hook will come off. Right? Now, the backside corner, the backside safety, I know he's looking like he's poaching, right? But he's actually not poaching, correct? He's just helping out. This is the guy that I like to use there in cover 9. And I actually do come over and help out versus vertical routes, especially vertical of 3, right? Because nobody's running with him. So I just know against this route, okay, it could be one. It's not maybe the best. Actually, it's not bad because the squat corner is running with them. But nobody plays cover 9 and plays it like with a cloud flag cover 9 against trips, do you? Like nobody does that. Most people, even when I do it, I pretty much keep it in the family of the squat family. But to me, floods is where this makes its money. 3x1s for sure. Bunch. I don't know about the triple out. That's always a hard play. They really don't have a lot of flood routes out here in this playbook, do they? I really don't want to do it versus this, but this is a play action flood, but whatever. Yeah. Playbook is not what I wanted for this. So over here to this side, soft squat. I don't think anybody to the flat's gonna make the corner come down too soon, right? Nobody's really going to the flat right away. They both matched right there because of the route combination. You know, people in real life are running floods so many different ways. Like the traditional floods really aren't happening. So this is a little bit funky because you're getting 2 verticals out of it. You know, most of the time you're probably going to get something like this. Most people would run it like that. Or they would take this guy would run some version of a corner route. I can't really get number 2 to run a corner route right now, obviously. Come on. You know, you could do something like this. So anybody who's running simple combinations like this, Harry High School stuff, obviously, but just running regular soft squat cover 9 should help you out here a little bit. Where if you're playing palms, it's a little bit different. You'd hope that you're going to get some better coverage towards that stuff. So that's why cover 9 is a little bit of a good change up for me. I can't think of anything else really that I would right now want to try to stop. But then I love using the backside guy. So that's my thing. Yeah, having the flood answers. I remember the floods are 4 levels to really stretch the D. 4-level floods. So how would you do that? Is this technically? Well, I guess you really can't get that here. How would you get a 4-level flood? How would you set that up? I'm curious. Because just so you know, from an offensive standpoint, okay, I'm a defensive guy, but I love me some floods on offense. That's pretty much my favorite pass play in the world. My first offense I worked for was a digit system guy with Schottenheimer. He had just come from, well, I knew him. It was 2 years after he came from the Chargers. So it was what's his name? What's his name? Cam Cameron? That's his name? Yeah. Anyway, a lot of the digit system stuff. So digit system is really heavy on corners, deep digs, posts. So basically all the 7-8-9s, right? 6-7-8-9s in the passing tree. And then from there, the West Coast stuff, I kind of, obviously being a Niners fan, I've always kind of followed some of it, but I'm not a huge fan of the Shanahan stuff besides a lot of the deep play action plays. Um, Again, when I was with Schottenheimer with the Jets, when I was with Shotty, he used to always steal a lot of Shanahan's play action plays. I think everybody in the league does. They love his deep reads. They love his Yankee concepts. They love his drift concepts. They love all the stuff that he does off the run game. So, but anyway, I love throwing corners. So how do you get this flood? Clear out, deep corner. What's the tech out? What's that? Like a 10-yard out? A -5 out. Yeah, Cam Cameron, yeah. they're not big into drive. Drive is a West Coast concept, but they did have their variation of it. They ran a little bit more mesh, the digit system, and I remember looking at the reads for who was the good tight end they had, Antonio Gates, and then before that, I think they had like, I think in the system, I think Tony Gonzalez was in the system at somewhere else. But anyway, I remember looking at drive, um, and or shallow cross, and the first read was a tight end. Who does that? An inside triangle concept like that. Like it was like, oh, it's always a shallow. You go to shallow, the tight end to the check down, right? That's the progression, right? But it was the read. His read was tight end first. Look for the tight end first, then look to the shadow, then look across to the other. It was funny. Oh, okay. Yeah, the digit system is always it's. I love big digs. I love the good old 18-yard deep dig routes. Those are always sexy to me. From a DB standpoint, it's always hard to stop that route. That's just like no linebackers getting underneath that, and no DB believes you're really going to throw 7-step drop deep, big six. That's what they call it, a big six route. So a lot of my Madden game has always been like based off of that, and it's hard because I'm a Niners fan, and West Coast is supposed to be my scheme, wide zone, all that stuff, but I'm a little bit more into that. So flood is also a huge part of that as well. Oh, 10-yard out. All right, so give me the formation you would do it out of. Clear out, a corner, a 10-yard out, and then some sort of flat route. So if it's at a 3-by-1, you're obviously including the back. And who's running the corner, who's running the out. Just give me like the base way you would do it. Because I don't think that's in the game unless you're... Ooh, my stomach is bubbling. I was just looking at this silly route. You can't do it out of triple out, but it kind of reminds me of that a little bit. But what formation would you do it out of? I guess I could do it out of this like bunch set, but it's not going to give me the same look. I'm assuming you're doing it out of a spread look. So, yeah, this is a bunch look right here. This is probably messing up everything you're talking about right now. You're probably pissed. Don't mess up my shit. All right, here we go to the flat. Nope, sorry. Something like that. But out of a more, obviously, like a real, what do you call it? Out of a trips tight end set. I can see that nobody's probably going to get to that corner, right? You can have somebody play the flat right. You could probably have somebody play that 10-yard out, but you're kind of maximizing the fact that you can get a corner there. But this formation is probably not what you would do it out of. So sorry to make your formation, your play work, but I like that, man. I like that. Anybody else? I want to just get some lunch, and then I want to come back and I want to do some man stuff, man. I'm itching to look at man coverage. I want to look at press. This is what I remember jumping on the NY Kia stream back in the day. He used to always spend like a full day or two just talking about man coverage, and he would break it down. What's the best way to play shade outside, shade inside? I don't know if anybody's doing that. I may not go through all that right now, but I just want to see how man coverage works. We gotta find the right matchups. Obviously, that's realistic for us. So, all right, fellas. Well, thank you for coming in the morning stream here. Afternoon stream, I'm gonna try to do a quick little man coverage deal, and then later on tonight, we'll probably just finish off with I don't know, just maybe leave it open and just try to like put everything together that I've done so far. Can't really think of any other coverages that I want to see off the top of my head right now. So I'm not doing cover two. I refuse to do cover two. So yeah. So right now, I'm probably thinking I just need like half an hour, 45 minutes. So I'll probably be back around 12. Let's just say 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock Eastern time. So another hour from now, I'm just gonna start just kind of dabbling for like 2 hours into man, and then I'll probably even let you guys decide how you want to test out man to man. I just want to see how corners play off man. I want to see how they play press man. I want to see how they play at 5 yards. I just want to see if they turn right, how they use their arms. I'll put best against best, so it's like the best corners, and then I'll go worst against worst, and then I'll do good against bad, I'll go good corner versus bad receiver, and then the opposite good receiver. How does a good receiver, does he smoke the hell out of a bad corner? We're probably just gonna have to use more of. I'm just gonna use the practice mode for that, and then we'll jump into some scheme stuff maybe tonight. So then I'll come back tonight, 9 p.m. tonight. I'll do that. I'll start doing my stream from 9 to like 1. Probably a 4-hour stream of just kind of looking at all the man stuff you can do. I want to see if combos work. I want to see if linebackers and DBs work together versus a tight end and a running back. On the same side out of like say a 2x2 set or even a trip snub set. Just try to see from a scheme standpoint how robbers work, all those things, because that's my deal. That's what I want to be. I always want to be a good man team. So we can kind of spend more time on that. All right, man. So I'll be back at 1 o'clock. I'll be back in an hour, and then I'll be back after that. That'll be for like 2 hours, and then 9 o'clock tonight. We'll just pull everything together, and then after that, we gotta start playing some games. And I gotta get my offense, man. I gotta get my offense up, man. Offensive guys, man. You guys gotta help me out this year, man. I have to play with Trey. I'm gonna play with Trey Lance, who's a normal dev 71. I'm crying right now, but I gotta play with Trey Lance. I gotta do it, man. Thank you for the stream, love. But offensive guys in the game plan. Yeah. I want to run the wide zone offense. It's hard, man. It's hard for me to do. But we'll talk about that later. All right, have a good one, fellas. Oh, bubble screens are OP. Oh God. Yeah, I hate college style offense. Peace.